He said an apple a day will keep the doctor away. Not having 30 apples at the end of the month. How I interpret that with success is doing the simple daily disciplines it takes to achieve the level of success you desire. I started out in the network marketing industry in 2006 and was only able to see the leaders from the stage at a convention or hear them on a conference call. To being at a point now where I'm able to sit down with Mr. Estes, who is a leader in the network marketing industry, a top income earner, and him being able to give me the wisdom it took to take him from a teacher and a coach to lead him where he is today. So I encourage you to grab a pen and paper, because if you're looking to achieve the level of success you desire, you might just want to open your mind and listen. I want to introduce everyone to Mr. Estes. He's a good friend of mine. I want to coin that, claim that. And he's doing big things within the industry and also with speaking. And I think that he's one of the best speakers that I've heard of in a long, long time. So, Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate that kind compliment.
Did I do pretty good on that
You
one?
did very well. Yeah.
Checks to the mail.
Absolutely.
So I just want to ask a few questions because, you know, being that we're in business and some people are just getting started, so I want to kind of just get your take because, you know, you're doing really, really well. You've been in it for a few years, so you have a lot of good advice to give some individuals. So what would be your advice that you would give someone just starting in the business?
I have advice, Tally. I'm not sure if it's good advice, but I'll share with you what I have. I thought of, you know, or I can think of 4 things right off the top of my head, and number 1 is making a commitment. You know, I've always been told commitment is doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. And if you look back at most people in any type of employment or profession, and you look specifically into this industry, most people are just involved. And there's a big difference in commitment and involvement, and I always relate that to ham and eggs. If you look at the chicken is involved,
Exactly.
thus the egg, but the pig is fully committed. And one of the things that I had to do on the front end is make a decision. And if you break down the word decide, anything you put in front of side is it means to kill it. So if you pesticide means to kill a pest, decide means to kill all doubt. And so for me, I had to kill all doubt that I was going to make a commitment, meaning I was going to make some sacrifices on the front end, meaning being temporarily unbalanced so I could have the ability to be permanently balanced as I went throughout this business. So that's number 1. You got to make a commitment and choose that this is going to be something I'm going to do even when I wake up and I don't want to go to the event, even when I wake up and I don't want to read the book, even when I wake up and I don't want to make the call, I'm going to do it anyway because I said I was. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you have to define your why. You have to find your why. Because for me, it would have been easy to just go back on the path of having a quote-unquote good job. I was a teacher, a master's degree in counseling. I was a head coach for a couple of sports. And so I could have easily just went back on the path of doing what I'd always done. But I had to find a why. For people, when they look at you, it's not about what you do, it's about why you do it. And so for me, I looked at a little girl that I had, and I never wanted to say or look at her and say I didn't have the courage or I don't have the courage to win for you. So for me, it was making a commitment, finding my why, so when I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, I had something that was going to drive me to do those things. And then the 3rd and the 4th is discipline your disappointments. You know, in the beginning, my best friend told me no. And he didn't tell me no for 1 day, he told me no for a week, he told me no for a month, he told me no for 14 months before he decided to join this company. So I had to discipline my disappointment. That was something I was kind of shocked about. My father-in-law told me no for 18 months and he lived next door. Of course, that was a mistake, living that close to him. But discipline your disappointments. There's going to be people, I say, who will hate you, they'll rate you, shake you, and break you, but how strong you stand is what makes you. You're going to have those wisecracks at work, going to they know nothing about nothing, making payments on everything, but they're going to tell you that what you're excited about isn't going to work. You're going to have the negative Nancy's and the Debbie Downers and the pessimist Pete's and the sour Steve. You're going to have those negative people who are going to try to pull you down or knock you off course. So you have to discipline your disappointments and know that's part of the game. It's part of the game of life. It's definitely the part of the game of this profession in network marketing. And then the last point for a new person getting started, so you make a commitment, you find what your why is, you know that you're going to have to discipline your disappointments. People are going to say, not yet. Understand, my best friend, my father-in-law, they got in. See, sometimes people have to see that you're committed before they commit to you. And that's one of the things I had to learn early, so I'm trying to help anyone taking a look or getting started now to understand this is part of the rules of the game. And then the other thing is you can't make everybody happy. You can't let people wear you out. Never let anyone get the last of you. You can't breathe life into other people. If you break down the word inspire, spire is Latin, which means to breathe. You can't inspire people. You can't breathe life into people if you can't breathe.
No, right.
And so you can't let anyone get the last of you in this business. You have to have distributor funerals early and often.
Right.
As a mentor once told me, you got to
Sure
let
do.
people go. A mentor, John Maxwell, in fact, he said, Chris, in order to grow, you must let people go. So understand that part of the process of life, part of the process of this business, is it's kind of like a revolving door at a busy hotel. There's always going to be people coming into your life. There's always going to be people going out of your life. There's always going to be people coming into your business. There's always going to be people going out of your business. That's part of the process. You just want to make sure that the people coming in are 7s and 8s, and the people going out are 3s and 4s. So that's some advice for people getting started in the business, Talia, is they have to make a commitment. They have to find their why. They have to discipline their disappointments. And then they have to let people go. They have to know that they can't make everybody happy in the business.
And I've learned some of those things as well, being in business since '06 and holding on to certain people, and you want it so bad for them more than they want it for themselves.
That's right.
And you have to realize that you do have to let those people go. Now, you did mention family. How important, now you say your daughter, that was your why on why you wanted to do this business.
That's right.
How important is it for your spouse to be on board with what you're doing?
You're either going to grow together or you're going to grow apart. Because in this business, a lot of the thing I love most about network marketing is the development piece of it. The personal development aspect, because people who start this business and they do make the commitment and they do all those other things to stay long enough. I have that saying, and we've heard it before, if you stick and stay, you get your pay. And it's so true. If you stick and stay and you go through the process, you do those fundamental things every day, what happens is through the growth, through learning, you become a totally different person. And sometimes people on the outside look at you and go, what happened to that person? You've grown and you've developed. You're more positive. You have a better attitude. You're a winner, not a whiner anymore. You've gotten better. You're not bitter anymore. And so, if you don't grow together, you grow apart. And so, it's very important to make sure that you're both on the same page as you start the business, as you go through. And I don't even say go through the business. I say grow through the business together.
And would you recommend that, as you're reading and learning and growing, that your spouse does the same thing as well?
Absolutely, because if not, what's going to happen is 2 years down the road, 4 years down the road, you're going to go, who am I married to? Not that that's bad, not that that person's bad, or not that it's your bad. It's just that you've grown apart through not growing together.
Makes sense. Now, with where you are today, when you first started out, did you envision your life to be where you are right now?
If someone, Talia, would have told me I'd be where I'm at today 5 years ago, because 5 years ago I didn't know much about network marketing. I'd been introduced to multiple companies, but really had never taken a look because I was focused. My blinders was on to my profession. I was teaching, I was coaching. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I thought I had arrived. In fact, I had become satisfied. And if you break down satisfaction, satis is Latin, which means enough. You add action to it, it means enough action. And so for me, I had gotten complacent. I said, I'm a head coach, I'm teaching, this is as good as it's going to get for me. And a friend introduced me to this industry, to this profession, and I took a look and I said, wow, I've been missing out for a decade. I've been introduced, never even understood what this was. But I didn't have the vision, I didn't know that what I have now was possible. I just knew that potentially I could make a little bit of extra income that could help the family, our family, move in a forward direction. And so I used to lose sleep, Talia, over $1,000 a month. When I first started this business, I said, if I can make $1,000 extra a month in network marketing, it'll change my life. And of course, being competitive. When I got to 1,000, I said, I think I can do 3. And when I got to 3, I said, I think I can do 5. And then 5, I think I can do 10. And I just continued to chase the carrot. But if someone would have told me 5 years ago that I would be where I'm at today, I would have laughed in their face. But that's part of the growth process. If you continue to grow, it's what you learn after you know it all that really counts. And so I just continue to be a student. I continue to be a student today, continue to grow myself, because I think it's been said, your income will not exceed or not grow far past your personal development. It will quickly come back to meet you. So that scared me in the beginning. As mentors shared with me, you better start growing, because if not, your income will always come back to meet you. So absolutely did not think I would be where I'm at today, but it's part of the process. It's part of network marketing. What industry, what profession can you get started with a small investment, with a potential zero overhead, and have the ability to earn millions of dollars?
I don't think some people can fathom making that much, but if you start small with an increment amount and then progress, like you said, starting, okay, I can see myself making 1,000, okay, I just made 1,000, now what's the next level? And you said you started out as a teacher and a coach. What advice would you give to someone who says that they don't have the time or want to do something, but sometimes life gets in the way and then they have them lose focus?
Well, if you look at any multi-millionaire, any millionaire, any six-figure earner in network marketing, if you ask them if they had time when they started this business, I would say 9 out of 10 easily would say, no, I didn't have the time. So time is a common obstacle, or what I call an excuse, as to why people don't get involved. We've heard by the mile it's a trial, by the yard it's hard, but by the inch it's a cinch. And so for me, what I did is I just took this day by day. Success happens daily, not in a day. It's a process. It is a crock pot, not a microwave. And so even though I didn't have the time per se, as I assessed, because if you want to make progress, you must assess. You must assess where you're at, where you want to be. And for me, I was watching the electronic income reducer. As busy as I was teaching during the day, I was coaching. I'm a triathlete as well, so big into fitness, swim, cycle, run. Even though I was doing all those things, I still had time to watch the reality shows. I still had time, or still made time, to watch the sports events. And what were they paying me? Absolutely nothing. So again, I had to define and find, what do I really want out of life? Do I want something more than what I have? Because talk is cheap and actions speak. So I had to start acting more, meaning I had to start doing some things that were relative or correlated to the things I said I wanted. So if you say you don't have time, you have to first assess and look at where your schedules are and start prioritizing your schedule. Start prioritizing your priorities, and we can help you make time. You just give me a call, I'll show you how you can make time to do this business, because people who typically don't have time, you know where they're at or who they're in front of every day? They're in front of people. And what kind of business is this? This is people business. What kind of business is any business, Talia? It's a people business. It's about making a connection with people, listening to what they want, and fortunately for you and I, we have an opportunity that can help them with their health, of course, and with their finances, and give them true freedom and choices and options that maybe would never be possible otherwise.
I totally agree. He has a lot of wisdom, nuggets over here.
Well, you know, as it says in Proverbs, as our great wise man Solomon said, he said, a wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. And so it's so important to be a student. It's so important to be a constant learner, because if you want things on the higher shelf in life, you're gonna have to stand on the books you read. You're gonna have to stand on the audio tapes that you listen to. You're gonna have to stand on the tapes that you listen to in the car. All those different things. You're gonna have to constantly be developing yourself.
I totally agree. And you have mentioned John C. Maxwell.
Yeah.
For those of you for those who don't know who he is, that are maybe new to network marketing, did you know who he was when you first got started?
Sadly to say, Talia, and this is what's unfortunate for our society. I was a teacher and a coach, so I was in a leadership position. And John Maxwell has the biggest leadership development program in the world. and he's written books that sold over 30 million copies over the course of his life. And I didn't know him until I got involved in network marketing. Thus, the power of personal development, growing yourself. And I began to follow him by reading his books and following his website. And we were fortunate to invite him to one of our team events a couple of years ago. He was very impressed with what he saw. Less about me, more about our team, because we know each of us need all of us need each of us. It's a team that makes things work. And from that point, as CEO, started making contact. We started developing a relationship, and very fortunate this year for him to be personally mentoring me through expanding my leadership. And what does that mean? It means that I get to pour that knowledge, I get to pour those things into our people. And I always tell people it's much better to be a river than a reservoir. So I'm going to be constantly pouring all the things that I have learned, am learning from John and other mentors as well, into our people. Because I want to see everybody excel. I want to see people pass me. Now they're going to have to work because I'm competitive. But I love seeing people strive for more. And if I want people to be better, I have to be better. I have to lead from the front and say, here's what I expect, but you can watch me because I'm going to show you the way. A leader, they know the way, they go the way, they show the way. And that's what I'm trying to do. All we can do is be the best we can be. We can be the best first. I can be the best first me I can be. You can be the best first you can be. Talia can be the best first Talia she can be. We can't try to emulate. We can't be someone else. We can only be our best. And if we'll do that, and we'll strive to do that, good things are ahead for all of us.
Now with that, it popped into my head as far as being the best person. What advice would you give someone who's comparing themselves to maybe you? Well, I'm not where he is yet, or because they don't understand where that you started, where we started.
That's right.
So, like you said, it's standing on the books that you read and listening to the tapes. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or is that pretty much?
Well, I think what people have to understand again is the process. You've heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, they don't say eat 30 apples at the end of the month. It's an apple a day. Now, is that easy to do? It's easy to do. Is it easy not to do? It's easy not to do. It's easy to go to McDonald's instead and eat fast food. It's easy also to eat fruits and vegetables. Now, will that make a difference today? Will make a difference today. In fact, you might feel more satisfied eating the Blizzard than eating the fruits or vegetables you don't really enjoy. But those are directions that you get to choose. And for me, I use the same acronym, or I use APPLE, which is moving into every day I wake up with a winning attitude. That's the A. Every day I make sure I'm prepared. See, if you're preparing today, you will not be preparing tomorrow. So I make sure I'm prepared. I'm planning my work, and then I perform by performing my plan. The whole talk is cheap, action speak. I'm going to always perform every day. Then I'm going to learn every day. I'm going to evaluate every day. I'm going to assess where I'm at, where I want to be. How did I do today? How can I do better? And that apple a day process over a period of weeks and months and now years led me to where I'm at. But I started where everyone else starts. I started as one person, wanting something more than what I have. I tell people, if you have these three things, if you're coachable and teachable, and you're hungry, means you have a desire, you want something more than what you have, and you have a little bit of influence, or you're open to gaining influence. How do you gain influence? Add value to people every day. Who can I add value to today?
So it's doing those simple disciplines.
That's right.
Each day.
That's right.
To reach success.
Absolutely.
I gotcha. So where you are right now, what else is in store for Mr. Chris Estes? Well,
again, I'm not big on satisfaction. So I'm always looking on how can I expand my leadership pool? How can I influence more people? How can I add value to more people? And so the network marketing profession has given me a vehicle or a platform to do that. And fortunately, because of great mentors and great people, it's risen me up to a position to be able to impact a lot of people in a positive way. And so I'm working on my first book. Hope to have it out by the end of the year. Of course, the mentorship of John Maxwell and other people
That's awesome.
pouring into me. And that book is just going to represent a piece of me and an application book for people to, day by day, build a success or build the success that they want. And so I'm working on a book to pour into other people. I'm going to continue to speak and share success principles, development principles to help people get out of the rut that they're in. Because there's a lot of people that don't have the hope that there's something else out there better. And I'm telling all of you that there is. And if you'll just follow the development, follow some mentors, some positive people, great things are in store.
Can you get the name of the book?
Not going to get the name of the book
Don't
yet.
want anybody stealing the idea.
That's right. I'm still working on some things
Yeah.
from a legal standpoint, but excited about the book. I think it's going to create a lot of value for people, and it's a book of application. So people are going to be able to read it. It's very simple because I'm a simple person, but within that, and it's going to hit all. It's not just for network marketing. It's going to be for school teachers. It's going to be for insurance agents. It's going to be for real estate. It's going to be for anyone who wants something more, anyone who wants to expand their success. This is going to be a book very applicable. There's going to be application pieces in there where you can course correct your day, you course correct your week, and build success. So I'm excited about the book.
I'm excited too. That's awesome.
Hopefully you'll get one, right?
Oh, I'll be first in line.
I'll give you one.
Oh, I appreciate it, but I'll contribute to the cause, and I'll go to Barnes & Noble and check it out. But I appreciate you sitting down and taking your time out. I know you have to leave soon, and we're taking you to the
That's
venue.
right.
Okay. Okay, so this has been Talya's Take with Mr. Chris Estes, and I appreciate you sitting down and giving some great advice for those out there getting started, maybe have been in business and don't have the avenue or are looking for leadership. Look out for Mr. Chris Estes' book. Do you have a website you want to plug?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to Chris, D as in David, Estes, ChrisDEstes.com, you can follow me. I'll be providing a lot of free training for all of you, regardless of what profession you might be in, just personal growth, personal development. So I would encourage you to get to that site. I'll be also acknowledging and releasing some info on when the book will be released and all of those things. So go to that book. I encourage all of you to get your hopes up.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Good
I
stuff.
appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
I've had my share